We got the lights illuminating above the driver now, putting it down to the lead mix for the best start possible, and the lights are out now. What a start from Freddie. Really, this is one of his strong points in his driving style. He's really good at handling the pressure of start. But as you can see now, a little bit later on, the safety car has been deployed for the first time in this career mode series, and interestingly, the other cars are staying out. Just look at that, the AI are pitting as soon as the safety car comes in. What is the point in that? GG Codemaster. As you can see, Ericsson's gone out of the way, and we're going to go into the final corner now, and look at that, Ericsson being an absolute idiot. What was he doing there? Just parking his car on the apex, and that has lost us any chance to win. But anyway, we're going to open up the DRS now, and we're hoping to pass at least one of the Mercs here. In fact, we might pass both of them here. What a move from Freddie Gray there. And we're going to come through in second place. It's not the win this time. But anyway, it is a Ferrari 1-2. Hey guys, what is up? It is StopMat99 here, and I am back with a brand new video. This is part 15 of my F1 2014 career mode session. We are here today at Suzuka for the Japanese Grand Prix, and this really is a track which Freddie is not too fond of, so he's not expecting the best result this weekend, not as good as what he got in Singapore. But as you can see now in practice, he's already a second off the fastest time, even on the option tyres, which just shows really. But as you're about to see now, look at the top there. There's a car just parked, and then he suddenly spawns right down where we just passed. Look, he just spawned there. I don't know who that is. I think it's a Williams by the looks of it. But he was right at the top of the track, and then he just somehow just appeared right in front of us. A bit of a strange glitch there. I just thought I'd show you. And as you can see now, for some reason the DRS didn't close, and we went for a massive spin, as you can see here on the replay. And yeah, it was kind of a pretty cool drift, to be fair. But as you can see now, on lap 6 of practice, we haven't really set a decent time yet, but as you can see, we're just being held up here by the loads of Grosjean, as you can see, showing our frustration by sort of knocking out the way there. As you can see, we got the warning for causing a collision, but we've still got 2 cars ahead of us that we need to conquer before the end of this lap. I think one of them might be a Sauber of Adrian Sutil, I believe. I don't know whether we'll catch up to him, although it does look like we are catching up to him quite dramatically, as we are going. This does look like it is going to be one of our best laps of the session. We've got the inside of Sutil, and I don't think that costs us a huge amount of time really, but we'll see anyway, because we were 1.5 seconds up on our previous best time. As you can see, we didn't get the best exit out of the final chicane, and we set a 1 minute 40.1, which is good enough for third, and that is where we ended up. We didn't decide to go up for another time. Really not great pace in my opinion, but let's see how we can get on in qualifying, as we are in qualifying now on the prime tyres. You can see 2 tenths off Kvyat's time. I think this may be a track where we have to go into the options in Q1, because Freddie just really cannot get to grips with this track. It's just a track which he doesn't really like, which the car doesn't really seem to like either, really. Through Sector 1, it's basically sliding for every corner, and if it's not sliding, it's basically understeering. So that's unfortunate. You can see now, we went for another lap, and we're still 3 tenths off Maldonado's time, but as you can see, coming across the line now, it's a 1 minute 41.5, and we're only just off Maldonado's time. But as you can see on the option tyres now, this is literally going to be our last attempt. And have we got in to Q2? Yes, we have in P13. So that was too close for comfort, really. Let's hope that it's a lot easier in Q2, but I don't see how it will be, to be honest. But as you can see, on the option tyres straight away, we're currently 3 thousandths of Sergio Perez's time at the minute. We've got to absolutely nail this last chicane if we want a chance of getting into Q3. And although, wow, that was a bit of an aggressive approach into that chicane, although we don't get the best exit though, as we're about to open DRS now, and we set a 39.4, which isn't quite good enough at the moment. But as you can see, this is going to be our final lap of the session once again, our final lap, and we're 3 tenths up on Perez's time and 3 tenths up on our personal best. So it is looking good at the moment. It's all about this final chicane though, so let's see how we can do. Will this be good enough for Q3? Let's have a look now. Opening up DRS, will this be good enough? Only just good enough for Q3. Wow, look at that. That is just over 100th of a second separating me and Perez. That was, again, way too close for comfort. But as you can see, we didn't decide to set a time in Q3. We just wanted to really save our tyres. Although this only will be a 25% race this time, just because I don't really enjoy the track, to be honest. But as you can see now, the strategy for this race is just to pit on lap 6 for the prime tyres. And obviously, off the start, we are aiming to sort of make up as many positions as possible due to starting lower down than normal. So, yeah, wish us luck out on track. So yeah, as you can see there, we've got the Force India of Hulkenberg starting ahead of us and Perez behind us. As the lights are illuminated above the drivers now for the Japanese Grand Prix. 5 lights now, and they are out here in Japan for the Japanese Grand Prix. And we seem to have gotten a pretty good start, much better than Hulkenberg. And it looks like we're going to leapfrog him already, so we're aiming to get as many positions as possible. Going down to turn 1, and we almost hit Magnussen off the track there. And trying to go up the inside of Massa, although it is a bit too risky. And there's no room really. And we gained 1 position off the start. We're currently in 9th place, just at the expense of Hulkenberg. Now we're going to go around the outside of Massa and hit Magnussen there, although I think we're going to let Magnussen through, as that was a bit aggressive of us. But although we might go around the outside of Magnussen anyway, although I don't think so, because it's the sector where the Ferrari really does struggle with oversteer and understeer, just to mix the two really, which just makes it horrible to drive. But anyway, what the aim is really is just to stick with Magnussen and just try to overtake him at the end of this lap. He does seem to be saving his ERS at the moment, but as you can see, we seem to be keeping with him at the moment, which is positive, but we've got to keep with him before our tyres go off, as the tyre around Japan is not good whatsoever. As you can see now, skipping onto the spoon curve, see we've got Toro Rosso of Kvyat behind us, who seem to have got an absolutely brilliant start, really. But as you can see, we are dropping back a little bit from Magnussen, but we put it up into Richmond to stop that from happening. As you can see ahead, Magnussen's going for the move on Bottas, I think it is, and he just backs out massively. Now we're going to overtake him just round the outside here. And that is up into P7 already. Wow, I can't believe that. That was a fantastic move there. I can't believe how much Magnussen backed out, really. Just kind of shocking, to be honest. But you can see, skipping on to the same point next lap, we're just behind Valtteri Bottas now. As you can see, Perez is a further second behind us. And we're going to try and do something with Bottas here. As you can see, we might even go around the outside here as our engine's getting slightly warm. And wow, I cannot believe we managed to make that move there. Around the outside of Bottas. Just about keeping within track limits there. What a move from Freddie there. Probably one of his best moves of the season. It's definitely up with his move on Gutierrez, if you can remember, around Silverstone at Copse. That was also another very good move, but that definitely matches that. But as you can see, clicking on to lap 6 now, this is the lap we are going to be coming into the pits. Ricciardo pulled away by a massive amount. It must have been about 10 seconds. As you can see, we get a poor exit out of spoon. Now Perez is past us here. So that is very unfortunate, although we're going to be looking to get him back. Not going into 130R, but maybe the last chicane. As you can see, it's a bit too risky. As you can see, our tyres are not faring too well at the moment. As we're going to go up the inside of him here, going into the Casillo Triangle, I think it's called. Not 100% sure on that. As you can see, Rosberg still setting fast laps somehow. Just showing that the AI don't suffer with tyre wear in any way. But anyway, into the pits now. I think there are quite a few other cars are in the pits as well, including Hulkenberg. And there are quite a few cars also that are staying out. As you can see, let's see how the pits are. Let's hope we don't get held up at all. Will it be a 3.7 second stop? Indeed it will, so we weren't held up at all, so that's okay. But as you can see, will Hulkenberg rejoin? Yes, Hulkenberg, and I believe it's Button also rejoining just behind us. And yeah, going to put it up into standard books. This needs to be a good outlap if we want to stay ahead of the guys like Perez, like Magnussen, that I believe stayed out. And I believe Bottas also stayed out as well, our championship rival. So it will be good to beat him today, obviously. As you can see now, skipping on to lap 8, we've got the other cars into the pits now. They are exiting the pits right now. We might just get ahead of Massa there, that is. Although Magnussen has rejoined ahead of us here, and because we just lost concentration from that, we were really angry. And then we actually ran wide, and then Hulkenberg, because of us running wide, he capitalised. Now he's up into 7th place, and we're down all the way into 8th, and I just don't see us catching up with Hulkenberg. As you can see, skipping on to lap 11 now, as you can see Hulkenberg's all the way up the road. He's a good 3 seconds ahead of us. You can see we get the poorest exit out of spoon ever, just no grip whatsoever. And Button, Jensen Button's going to go around the outside. Don't tell me he's going to go around the outside of 130R. No way with the AI. Is he going to be able to hang it around the outside here? He nearly does, you know. Fantastic stuff from Jensen Button there. Great bravery, but he really did have to back out in the end, because obviously there would have been some form of collision, and actually drop behind Bottas because of that. And Bottas might even try and go around the outside here more. really ambitious overtaking from the AI. Really good to see here in this Japanese Grand Prix. It hasn't been the best race for us, but really we've had some good battles with the AI, and that's the main thing really. As you can see on the final lap now, going into the final sector, the AI did drop back a little bit, Button dropped back, and so did Bottas. It is only going to be 8th place today, unfortunately, which really isn't great if we compare this result to our previous 2 results. Really not too great whatsoever, or previous 3 results even. We are going to come across the line now for 8th place in the Japanese Grand Prix. As you can see there, not a brilliant race at all. We actually finished lower than our expected position, which was 7th. But as you can see there, our teammate Fernando Alonso getting some good points for the team there in 3rd place. So yeah, really unfortunate, to be honest. You know, it wasn't really our fault. The car wasn't really up for it, and I suppose Freddie wasn't too good around Suzuka either, so it's sort of a mix of the two really. But let's see how this affects the championship. We're still in 6th position, although Magnussen has closed the gap to us, and Ricciardo is getting ever further away. So I think really the aim is to try and get 5th place in the championship, possibly 4th if we can, but I very much doubt that. And yeah, in the constructors now, I think we're still in 3rd, just behind Red Bull and just ahead of McLaren, I think, I think they're quite a way behind though, so it's all right. They're not too much of a threat to us. But yeah, let's just hope for a better Grand Prix in Russia, the inaugural Russian Grand Prix. We don't really know how any car would go around there. Obviously, Mercedes will probably be on top, but who knows where our pace will be. But yeah, it was a pretty bit disappointing Grand Prix. But anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you are new to the channel, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.